Hi everyone, we're just going to do a tutorial today of a lovely sunset beachscape. I haven't painted for a while. I don't know if you can hear, but my voice is a little bit croaky because I have had quite a nasty fluey bug. So let's see how my voice lasts. Hopefully it'll be okay. Now, I always start out each tutorial, or whenever I'm painting generally, with my two prime blues, my two prime reds, my two prime yellows. So we've got ultramarine blue and cyan blue, or phalo blue. I have my scarlet red, and I have magenta. We have a lemon yellow and a medium yellow, and some black and some white. So sometimes I might add in some sienna, burnt sienna, or I have a mid-green that I can use, but generally I try to just mix all the colours I need from this. I don't know what brushes we're going to use yet. I generally just go with the flow, see what happens. Sorry, because I've been poorly, my brain is slow to function. So yeah, I know what I want to do. I've got a reference image. You can't see it on screen. I might be able to add it on after actually, so you might be able to see. It's got lots of purples and pinks in the sky, and that blue in the waves, and then the sandy colour at the bottom, and we're going to do this lovely orangey sunset. So lots of gorgeous colours. So I think what I'm going to try and do is mix some of the colours first so that we get underway with our colour mixing. Now, I know I'm wanting purples and pinks, so I'd like to have a bit magenta here. Make sure you've always got some paper towel on hand, which I normally do, but for some reason it is not here. Let me grab some. Oh, there it is. I spotted it. It was in the wrong place. Okay, so I'll get enough of one colour that I want, pull that down, and then I'll get some more of another colour that I want. And so we're going to mix until we get a purple we like. Now I'm using the cyan blue with the magenta. If you're buying a painting kit from me, everything will be that you need in the kit. If you have your own paints, then great, you're all ready to go. But you don't need to buy all those colours. There's a nice purple coming there. So now what I want to do is just lighten it up with some white to see how purple it's got. And we'll know whether we either want to add some more of the magenta. I think we need more magenta because it's still a very blue purple. We might have to use all of that magenta up. I made the error, I think, of putting too much blue on. We needed more of the magenta to really purple up the blue. And that blue is quite a powerful blue. I think by the time we've mixed all this, we should be there. The reason why I've chosen purple first to mix, because that will be, I've just seen there, it's coming on lovely. So that will be the first colour in the sky. So we're going to mix that first. And because we've got quite a lot of paint there, it shouldn't dry out too quick. What I do suggest with acrylics, if you're new, they dry out quite quickly. So you'd want to get it sprayed, made with a I have, it's just like from the hairdressers, like a spray water bottle, and you can just spray it, and it just, oh, got some on the canvas, and it just gives it a little sheen and stops it from drying out. Okay, but you don't want to add too much because you don't want your paints to be watery. So then we're going into actual pink. So we need more of the magenta now, but we just want to have the magenta mainly on its own. So I'm going to give a little blob of the magenta here, so that we've got some of that. We could have, I think we probably want some white mixed into that. So again, I'm going to wipe my palette knife. There is no palette knife in the kit. It's something you might want to invest in. I suggest just using one of the brushes in the kit to mix your colours. And because in a bit, although I will be mixing some of my main colours now, I'll probably be doing some more mixing with my brushes once I've started, because you don't always necessarily get the colours you want straight away, or the different variants either. So we've got a nice pink there. Remember, Make sure you've mixed enough, but try not to mix too much because it will be such a waste. You don't need it. Then we're going to try and mix a nice orange. We're going to add some white, and then it kind of makes a peach, and you could add a bit of pink to that as well. So to make the orange, we're going to try a little bit of that scarlet red and a little bit of that medium yellow. And the red is very powerful over the yellow. So we'll just do a bit, see how far we've got. So it's very, very red still. So we'll get some more of that yellow. And we'll just mix it into, say, this half of it. And then we should get our orange quite quickly. There we go. That's a nice deep orange. Get most of the paint off that palette. I'm going to get some white. So we can mix some white in there and get a really nice pale orange. Okay, and that almost comes out like a nice peachy sunset colour. Can you see that now? That's all we need to do for that. Then, of course, we've got the sea. Well, we're probably going to go in with just a little bit of ultramarine. Whoop. And I think what we'll do is just add some white to that. Because we'll want it to be more of a sea-like colour. And then we can always put darker colours on top or lighter colours. We get kind of like a mid-blue. Then we're going to think about the sandy colour. Now the sandy colour is simply going to be the orange again, but with more white. So we can worry about that when we get there. So in your kit, if you have a kit or if you've got brushes at home, you will need, first of all, your flat edge brush to get started. Now, we usually work in thirds. This is a 12 by 12 inch canvas. And we normally have you normally try to work in the rule of thirds. Okay, so everything's in thirds. So for the top 2/3, we're going to have sky, and for the bottom third will be the sea and the sand. So let's get started on the top of the sky. I probably won't talk as much as I normally do just because of my voice. Now we're just working on getting the canvas coloured with paint to start with. Okay. So I'm just picking the paint up that I've mixed and I'm going across the top and I'm just kind of dabbing the paint in with my flat edge brush. Trying not to be too straight lined about it and just patching it in. That way, in the end, we'll be able to blend in some other paints and we won't get any of the streakiness because we've gone in patches like that. We're just kind of tapping it in. Okay, if you get any lines, then we'll just go over it again. I'm going to start mixing in some of the pink at this point. I also want to come in just with some white first of all. And we're just going to kind of lighten up some of that blue, that purple. I realise that it's quite dark, so we can do that straight on the canvas while the paint's still wet. There you go, and I'm just flicking that white on over the top just to lighten it a little bit. Okay, and if it feels as though it's too dry, then don't worry, don't do any more. Okay, there we go. Now, whilst I've still got that purple on my brush, I am going to come in with some of the pink because I do actually want to mix that pink into that blue there. And what we're going to do is just flick it in like that. Okay, so it's really nice that we've got a little bit of that pink and that white on there. Mix those in and just go for those really nice gradient. Let's get some more water. If you find that your brush is not putting the paint down very well, it might be that you need some water on your brush and you need to just smooth it out a bit. Okay. Now, before it dries, I want to come in and kind of blend that a little bit more so you can't see the brush strokes quite so much. There we go. It's nice to come in with a bit more white here and there and just kind of change the the blend. So what I suggest you do, you get another brush that's out of the kit and make sure that one is nice and dry. And what we're going to do is just use that to, because it's dry, we can come over and just blend in the paint a bit and not leave it too streaky. We're just kind of tickling the top. We have not filled in that there, so we need to try and make sure you're filling in the canvas, the white of the canvas, as much as you can. But because it's acrylic paint, we can come over the top and put it right anyway. Okay, so we're just building up the pink now. I'm going to get some more water on my brush and we're going to come in. This should be a nice quick tutorial for those of you that are learning. Kept nice and simple, but you're learning a really big skill with blending with this one, because we want to have like a nice blend coming down. And you can see some of my brush marks, but there's absolutely no problem with that. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, we're being nice and what we call loose, abstract. This is an abstract painting, so it's okay to see some of the brush marks. There we go, coming in again. Maybe bringing a little bit more of that purple in. We don't want it to be too perfectly mixed. There we go. Some more of the pink, and it's nice to have actually some of this shocking pink in here. We want to keep it nice and bright, so let's bring some of that back in, and we can always add some again at the end if we want to. Okay, I'm kind of doing longer sweeping motions this time, just because I think it's kind of nice. This is where the sun is going to be spreading out from, so let's do that. Need to lay down a bit more here, I think. There we go. We'll do it coming this way this time. We want to make sure there's no whites left on the canvas, remember. We can come back over towards the end if we do have some white spaces, but it's good to try and keep them covered as you go. Yeah, and just bring them in. So there we go. I'm just making sure I've got mine all covered. Got enough. You need enough paint on your brush to be able to do that. You can't put paint into the canvas tooth if there's not enough paint on your brush, Tash. Right, what we're going to do now is come with some almost like hot white into the sky. We're just coming in with some white, and then it gets exciting where we come in and do the orange. So just having some white here, and you'll be surprised how lovely and quickly it all comes together. You also use the edge of your brush like that to kind of create some blending, just kind of tickling the canvas like that. Sorry, I'm having to pick it up now and again because the light is kind of, I'm recording in the evening, so it's dark, and so the light is on the canvas so much that I can hardly even see what I'm doing because it's giving me glare. Hopefully you're not letting the glare on the camera. Okay, so we're coming down. We've kind of got to the white hot area. We've mixed in our colours nicely, and we're going to come in to where the orange is. So although it is orange, we're going to come in with a peachy one first. I'm going to make a lighter version just so that we can blend it in here a little bit. Now to blend this in here again, we're just touching really lightly, and we are going to try and sweep across there because now we want to kind of start giving the impression of the horizon now. Okay, where the sun has been beating down, where the sun is going down. So we're just going to come across like that. So there are lots of different, if you've just come across me, there's lots of different tutorials for beginners and intermediates, more advanced. So take a look at my channel, do subscribe, please do share also. It all helps for my channel to grow. I just want to come in now and start building up to a deeper orange, and we are going to try, and now we're about 2/3 of the way down. We're going to start coming down to our horizon line, which is going to be that darker orange, and so we are going to come in streaks now. Okay, and we're going to blend in the lighter orange with the darker orange, and we're just going to work our way up. Okay. If you can try to get it as straight as you can, keep it, kind of step away and think, have I got it straight? That's fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You can use tape if you want to and put some tape across the bottom, but you don't have to. It's whatever you feel like you want to do. I'm going to come in with some white as well. Just put some white streaks in. And hopefully that gives us a really nice blend through, and a sunset is looking like it is appearing. Good. So now we want some really dark orange here at the bottom. Okay, because we want it to be nice and bright, this picture. That's why we've used our nice bright colours. We don't want to dampen it down too much with white. We want to get those nice bright sunset colours in, and then we'll just blend that up a bit more as well. Just being sure to make sure we're getting that canvas filled in. Remember, we don't want any white marks. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to kind of give it some kind of proportion, because at the moment we've got nothing to kind of gauge what's what. So by doing the sun now, we can do that. So we're going to do the first, you're going to get your angled brush, which is the one with the slanty end. We're going to wet that up, and we're just going into the white. And we're going to just create a little round sun there. We're going to do one layer, and then we'll come back later to finish it off. Okay. We'll let that dry. Now you can use a hairdryer to dry, so I'm going to do that quickly, just so then I can come back and feel sure that everything isn't going to merge when I paint. Okay, so we'll let that dry a little bit more. It's fine, but it's dry enough for me now to come across the bottom. So we're going for our flat edge brush again. Make sure it's perfectly clean. And we're going to come in and start to do the sea. Oh, excuse me. That's the cold. So we're going to come in with this mid blue colour, and I just want to come straight across and meet that orange. And we're going to just guide it across. We may have to mix quite a bit more of that colour, that's fine. And we're just going to try as best as we can, and it's usually better just to kind of try and do it in one sweep. We're going to try and get a nice straight line, and once we've got that line, we can then paint from under like that, and just helps. As I say, you can use tape if you want to be accurate, but I'm not too worried. Let's hold it up. I think that's fine. Okay, so not to mess that nice straight horizon line up, which is what we need, we're going to come in and start to paint our sea in. Just wet my brush a bit more, because if the paintbrush is too dry, it won't push the paint into the canvas. We've got to make sure, and also that if you haven't put enough paint on your canvas, it won't go down either. So it's really, really important. Okay, so we're going to keep doing that for the moment, and then we're going to come over the top with some different kind of streaks of that colour. Now there isn't much sand in this one, it's kind of just in the corner here. It's mainly going to be sea, so what I'll do is as we come down, just mixing some more, it was ultramarine and white. We're going to come down and leave maybe just a little gap in that side. So I'm going to get some more of this. And then we'll create some wave patterns as we come down, which are much easier than you think. If you're beginners, we're going to do a beginner method. So it'll really help. Hopefully you can see a really nice sunset seascape forming. And you can see where I've got some of those white bits there. It's fine, just we're going to push that in and we're going to create those differences in shades in the water, because the water isn't one big blob, is it? Right, I'm going to leave that bit there. I'm just going to add some sand in towards the end. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to make sure we've got that colour everywhere we need it. So let's just make a bit more up. I think I caught a little bit of cyan blue in there as well. Cyan blue, you could use that too. It doesn't really matter for the sea which colour you use. It depends whether you want your sea to be quite bluey or whether you want it to be quite greeny. Greeny or bluey. Right, so basically if you use that cyan you can get a nice greener feel of the water, but we're going for just blues today. So all I'm going to do now is come in and create patches of blue. Just doesn't matter where, just anywhere. Okay, hopefully you can still see that. And I'm just going to come along and just wiggle down these patches of lighter water. Try to blend them in a bit so you don't see like the brush marks, and we just come across like that. Okay, so we've got the darker blue underneath, we've got the slightly lighter blues coming in here and there. Make sure they're going off the canvas as well to make it real, otherwise it won't look natural. Okay, and then what we're going to do is come in with some darker blue, but we're going to go onto our angle brush again. Let's see if I can find, yeah, we'll use the same angle brush, that's fine. And what we're going to do is come in with some darker blue, but I'm still adding a little bit of white to it, and we can just create some ripples in the water. That's a bit too transparent. If you add some white to it, it will make it more opaque, but we've got to keep it dark, otherwise it won't show up. And what we're going to do is just go for a walk with our brush across the page. I'm going to create shadow. Yeah, just where there could be some waves. That's all we're doing. We don't need to be neat about it because the sea isn't neat. So what you really want to be doing is just creating waves, wiggly waves, which is a mixture of those dark, low lights and highlights, where you've got the white, the lighter, the lighter blue mixing in with the darker blue. Okay, like that. Just pop some in here and there, and it just gives that sense of reality. I think what we'll do is we'll put a lot more white down here because we are coming to the shoreline, so we're going to come in with just white, and we're just going to ripple in some white here and there, just however you want to do it. Yeah, just some ripples. Try not to be too neat about it. Try just to wiggle it in here and there. There we go. Make sure you're coming off the canvas with some to make sure it's real. And remember, it needs to be more right down the bottom. Okay, so we'll leave that for now. this is all just like a first layer. We can come back if we don't feel happy with it. We can come back afterwards and keep adding. Now for the sand, we're going to use our very pale orange. We're going to add a little bit of white and keep getting it until we feel we've got a nice pale sandy colour. We might want to add a bit more there. It was very pale. Okay, and we just want to come and mix it in till we get to that blue. I don't know how far, I think that's fine. Just kind of, just that little bit there. And blend that down. And then we'll dry it, and then we'll give it a good blend so the sea joins the sand quite nicely. Okay, so that's joined quite nicely. Going to move on to the smaller flat brush, because we just want to be a bit careful here and make sure we're mixing in the sand and the sea nicely. So we'll be a bit more, if you've got a smaller brush is where you'll be more detailed. So I'm coming in, and what we want to do is kind of do streaks of lines like this as the water is coming in and kind of blending into the sand, if that makes any sense. Yeah, can you see that coming together? So don't want it to be too perfect. We can get some more white and just whiten it up towards the edge. Basically just keep playing with that until you get it how you want. Oh, excuse me for having my cold and my cough today. My brain isn't functioning as well generally. But I think we've got through. Thank you for bearing with me. I haven't done a tutorial in a while, and so I really felt I had to get this done. I'm also going to be teaching this one locally. Well, I say teaching, it's going to be like a paint and sip thing, so it's not necessarily like a lesson, but yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. So we're just doing this so then I have the image to show. Kind of feel like we need to get some more white in here, like this, and really get some more kind of waves coming in. There we go, that's better. Just use the thickened end of your brush and just drag some waves over, and just wiggle it. There's a song, isn't there? Wiggle it just a little bit. Right, okay. And we can also just, because we've done that, it's like create some wave movements here as well. Okay, and it starts to feel more like the waves are actually coming in and hitting the sand. So we don't really have much of the yellow sand there. It's mainly because the sea's coming in. I don't like the shape of it though. There's something, no, that's better. Right, that's all it was that inner bit there. Now I'm going to come in with the yellow and really kind of brighten it up a bit in that corner, because there isn't much of the beach there. And most, you know, seascapes and stuff, you have the sea coming down and you have sand all the way across the bottom. We're being a bit different. We're just being a bit different this time. So it's all good. Right, I'm just going to come across and really darken up that back end, because it will be much darker out to sea. So we're just coming in and doing the finishing touches now. I hope you can still see everything that I'm doing. I'm just holding it up because it's more comfortable for me. and just put some darker streaks in at the back like that. And really this is just finishing touches now. We're coming in and just changing things how we want to change them. Yeah, if you're not happy with something, then we come in, and it's not really that you're not happy, but you can't get everything done in that first layer. You have to have the under layers to be able to come in and put your other darks and lights on. And that's, so here, you know, I'm going to have a little bit of a light there in between the dark and the other blue, and then bring it down, and it looks just more natural. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to do another one here a little bit, and we'll just do a little bit here, because it's almost then it's just like waves out to sea. Just happens to be further away. Okay, just do lots of different little streaks. Again, like we're coming into the front, so we want to have a few more sort of perfectly white. I'm just coming over what we've already done and just really brightening it up now with the whites, especially towards the shoreline. Yeah, we want to have that nice and bright. Okay. I think we need to just show that there. Okay. So I think what we'll do is come in with some of our pink with our big brush again. And again, I want to keep this really nice and bright. So we want to come in and bring some more of that bright pink in. Love it. And we've got hardly any paint on the brush. I'm going to spread around what we've got there into the pink section and really kind of brighten that up a bit. Okay, this is what I say about going in, and we're just going to add some darker or lighter colours, whatever we feel we want to do. But I definitely felt as though we needed some brights. There we go. I'm just kind of sweeping it. Yeah, sweeping it on, because of the sunset will be, this gets like that, doesn't it? It feels, you can see like that it's sweepy, whatever that means. Remember, this is abstract though, so it's just fun, and we're just playing, and it doesn't have to look like a photograph. Remember, we're not realism here. That's the whole joy of art, is that we don't have to make art look like photographs. That's not necessarily what we're going for, is it? We're just going for an idea of something. So I'm just adding some more white in here. As I say, we want to really try and come back with, the same colour, but really try and make sure it's nice and bright. It's exactly what we need, whereas the white was disappearing a little bit there. So I want to bring the white back in, and like that. I like that nice sweeping stroke. There we go. Cool, happy with that. And then I'm going to come back in, and I want some of the lighter orange that we had. There we go. And we can just kind of sweep over and make sure we're happy with the depth of colour there too. Hopefully when I do this class with people, actually in person, we'll have fun and we'll really enjoy it. So I've made an error there, and I've used that light colour and come down here. But that's given me the opportunity to come back in with that really dark orange and really emphasise that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in where it's almost just red, like it's that the orange is, hang on, let's make it a really red orange, and we're just going to come across here at the bottom. And yeah, so we're getting the sensation of that heat. Okay, and then we can start to again, just gently blend in by tapping our brush out some of those other colours. Just keep tapping your brush out. Don't have much paint on there. We can have some straight lines. We can be just tapping it and blending it up. That was quite a dark bit there, so I'm going to come back in and lighten that up. Remember, it's acrylic, so you can go over whatever you're doing. Okay. And then just the really good tip is to stand back, look at what you've done and think, is there anything I want to change? Yeah, and if you do, then change it. You can add some more lights in, you can add some more darks in. Okay. You don't have to be perfect with this, because the whole point of it is that it isn't perfection. Right, just clearing out my brush of paint. And I think coming back into the sky up here. And then we're just going to go over that as well and make sure we've got some nice clear colours. Although I like to have those pastel tints, we don't want it to feel like it's too washed out. And a good way to sometimes get that colour in like a sky feel is just a scumble, which is just scrubbing your brush in like that. And then you don't get kind of any marks. You're just kind of spreading it in and pushing down on the canvas. Because we want it to be real-ish. You know, we're not going for realism, but we do want to kind of, oh, that was supposed to have been pink. Oh dear, that's okay. That's okay. So now I can show you how to fix it. We're going to dry it. And then we're going to come in with our purple, a light purple. Just go over it, it's fine. And actually, we don't want to make it disappear completely, because there we are. Just pick it up so I can see. I couldn't see what I was doing then, because then it's not real anymore. You know, it's not like I say, we don't, this isn't realism, but we don't, you know, it needs to look and have a certain effect to it. Right, getting there. Getting there now. Oh, and I'm going to have to come back in with the pink. And kind of put right what I just did wrong. So I had to do the purple first because I needed that kind of underpainting, and then we can come in and just bring the pink back up. It can be either the darker pink or the lighter pink, it doesn't matter which. And then we'll just spread it by using the end of the brush. There we go. Just flicking it through all the other paint. That will help to spread it through a little bit. Okay. I think there's a bit that is a bit too bright. When you stand back, you can see like particular spots that maybe you think, not too keen on that bit. Okay, now we're coming down to the bottom of that pink coming into the white, and I think I want to flatten it out a bit. So by that I mean coming in more straighter lines. So let's do that. Just a little bit. This is why I do them straight off the top of my head with you guys, because I just think it's really important you see the process, and that it's not a perfect process, and that we just start and we get going and then we change as we go. Obviously this isn't realism. I'm not going to spend hundreds of hours on this, so it's not going to be fine art. So we don't have to be perfect with it. We can just have fun, but that means But whilst you're having fun, you will make errors, or you will do things you think, I don't like that bit so much. Okay, so you just have to kind of go with the flow and see how you feel, and that is really the joy of painting for me. Right, so I think I'm going to come back into the sea, and what we need to do is create some lines. So we need our angled brush again, and we need to come in and just where the sun is there, we need to bring some sunset colours into the sea. Just bring that down. Yeah, I'm just gently making lines as it comes towards the front. Okay, get some of that white as well. Bring some of the white in. And stick some out the sides like that. And we'll just do some dots as it comes to the front. And I think that's all we really need to do. So if there's anything you decide you want to do on top of that, then go for it, you know. Like I feel as though I want to do some more darkened lines in the sea. Because there's some of it that I feel just isn't quite dark enough. And maybe add some more little marks here and there. Might do some more like coming off the edge as well, because then that makes it look a little bit more real. As I said before, sometimes the edges of our canvas get a little bit abandoned. When we're thinking about what's going on in the middle, it's really important not to forget. And what I'm going to do is bring some of the pink into the sand, because we can. And just kind of change that colour a little bit. I like that. Okay, so that's a nice simple beginner tutorial for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, what we do need to do is put some more white in the sun. Nearly forgot. And there's probably going to be things I'll come back to and I think, oh, I need to do this now and I need to do this now. But at the moment, I'm happy to leave it where it is. For you as beginners, there's everything you needed to learn about trying to blend in and use your big brush strokes and learning to put your light against your dark to create the 3D-ness. So I think that's fine. Yeah, please do subscribe and check out click the notification bell so you can check out any new videos that come in. And I hope you enjoy that. And there are kits as well. Everything will be in the links below. I am a working artist, so there's all sorts of other things there that you can buy as well on my websites. Take care, guys. Have a good day.